So he's back. Back from 2 weeks out in the wilderness of the John Muir Trail. And he even has a cool shirt because he climbed. What'd you climb? Whitney.
Mount Whitney.
Mount Whitney. So more to come later.
I need a shave.
Hi, I'm Theresa Coates-Ellis, your Manassas City Councilwoman, and I'm here to give you an update of some things that are going on in the city, as well as some updates on George Ellis, my husband, who is back from his adventure. So, George, tell us a little bit about your trip.
Okay, well, over the last years, my hiking buddies and I have wanted to walk the John Muir Trail, which is a premier hiking trail in Southern California that runs about 211 miles from Yosemite south to up and over and including the summit of Mount Whitney, the highest mountain in the lower 48. So we set out on August 30 to Fresno, California. We were picked up by the High Sierra Pack Station folks who took us up to the Lake Thomas Edison along the John Muir Trail and the Pacific Coast Trail. And from there, we rented a horse and mule team to help guide us from Lake Edison 135 miles south up and over Mount Whitney. And we'd schedule that for 15 days.
15 days total. What was, how many, you talked about a horse and mule team. How many horses and mules?
One horse and one good cowboy and 5 mules.
So, did you ride the mules?
No, they simply carry, each mule can carry 300 pounds, 150 pounds each side.
Wow.
So we had a lot of gear, a lot of food, a lot of clothing. It was cold, you're hiking typically above 10,000 feet. So the water level we enjoy here in Manassas, Virginia gives way to several miles up in the air.
So you said a cowboy was like a guide.
Mm-hmm. Name was Jared, 30 years old, ex-Marine, a champion luge, the sled. He grew up on a ranch. I remember first night asking him where he thought would be the best place for a tent, and he told me he didn't know, he'd never been in a tent. Typical cowboy on some leather, lying on the ground, hat over his face. Classic.
So what was the temperature like while you were there?
Temperatures during the day could get up into the high 50s. And at night it floated around 32, about freezing. So it was quite cold.
And you slept in a tent.
Correct.
So on the ground, any comfort items at all?
I used an inflatable sleeping pad, which is like bringing a bed with you. It's glorious to be an inch or two off the ground. The ground is cold. The sleeping pad insulates you from the ground.
So who went with you exactly?
My friend, Bill, and his friend, Gene. There were 3 of us hiking. Mm-hmm. With Jared, the lead guy, taking the horse and the mules.
So you're all about, so actually a little bit about the background. So you and Bill, I know, have been hiking a long time, since college. And this was continuing on a trail that you did a couple of years ago,
5 years
right?
ago during COVID, we hiked 94 miles of the trail from Lake Edison north to Yosemite. And that was not supported by horse and mules. It was just Bill and I and 45-pound backpacks. Tough, but wonderful trip back in 2020, and we really wanted to do the southern half this year, and that's what we just completed.
So just a recap, you also have done some hikes on the Appalachian Trail with Bill and some other friends and family in the years since college. So this was something different. This was on the other side of the country. How do you compare like the Appalachian Trail to how many miles did you do the last 15 days?
We did 134 plus or minus a mile.
134 miles
About
in
9.5
days.
a day. Yeah.
9.5 a day. So how do you compare it to the Appalachian Trail? And how many miles have you done on that?
They're very different. The Appalachian Trail, we've been section hiking for 30 years plus, and we're about 1,607 miles into that 2,196 mile total. We've got a piece down in the Smokies, about 162 mile stretch down in that Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia area that we've been delayed because of those storms over the past couple of years. And we've got the remaining from roughly the Vermont, New Hampshire border north into Maine and Katahdin. So we're 75% through that. That trail is all about staying warm and dry. Your enemies there are wetness and coldness. It's green, it's the east, it's the mountains, and the comparison is out west on the John Muir Trail, which is most of it's on the Pacific Coast Trail, the PCT, excuse me, and that's exposed sunlight, so it's very different. The battle in the west is keeping your body covered. The sun will eat you alive, so sunlight was never lacking. In the total 211 miles, we saw rain once, maybe slightly a second day, but it was basically blazing sunlight every day, so you tend to stay covered. It's also quite dry. So, your chapstick's important, sunscreen's highly important, and the most important thing is hydration. You dehydrate very easily in the mountains in the west, so you have to drink quite a bit of water.
So the Appalachian Trail, and then there's, you said the PCT, which is the Pacific Coast Trail on the west.
Correct.
Which is what the John Muir Trail is.
John Muir Trail's on a piece of it. The PCT is about 2,500 miles from Mexico to Canada, and this is a chunk of it in the high country. It's the highest part. It's the most rugged and beautiful hiking in the world, if you ask me.
What was the most beautiful? I know that, and just talking about this a little bit, you said everything was beautiful. Was there any standout scenes or
many times we'd be climbing up valley and starting to get elevation, in which are 10, 11,000 feet, and you look back, you see the alpine lakes, and the glaciers carve these lakes. They're gorgeous. They're cold and gorgeous. Lots of trout. Gives you opportunity to rewater, a place to tent if you need so. So that just stands out as gorgeous. Some of the mountains and ridges equal. There's no trees. You see everything. Wonderful geology. A lot of geologic sites that we picked up where you could see the difference between a granite pluton over basaltic lava flows and intrusions and different things like that. So we'd find all kinds of interesting rock. And I'd say a close second really is the glacial polish you see on the granite. It's smooth. It really is very, very interesting result of glaciation. So you see a lot of, these mountains are tall. They've been ground down and shaped by the glaciers. And one of the big things is a glacier leaves a U-shaped valley, which has a much steeper edge to it. And we spent a lot of time carefully switchbacking up and down those very steep walls.
most challenging, what did you say was the most challenging event or
conditions?
any
Breathing
bad
at
weather?
elevation
Okay.
is very, very difficult. I
Yeah.
made a few tapes for you. Kind of shows how hard it is to breathe at 12,000 feet. And a lot of stopping and resting and breathing just to get your breath. It's hard to get that oxygen through the lungs at that elevation. So you take your time. You're not unaware of it. There's other people up there. And it sure was nice to have a horse and mule hauling most of your stuff, your day packs, 12 to 15 pounds, not much.
Hit any storms?
One.
Okay.
We had one rainstorm where you have lightning, you have thunder, and in the high Sierra, any presence of thunder means you are in danger, take action, and so get down off the ridge. That only happened once.
You didn't have a nearby restaurant or anything like that. Just how did you deal with food, water, and could you have a fire?
You can have fires below 10,000 feet. So every other night or so, the lead horse mule team guy would start a fire for us. So when we come in, we'd have something to dry our socks and shoes if we had to ford some water or for whatever reason got wet. It wasn't from rain, but there's quite a bit of active streams in the mountains, and some of them you got to walk through. Some we want to leap over, but every now and then you just got to walk through it. Your feet are wet and you have an opportunity to dry that. As often is the case, I brought 3 pairs of socks, and while drying one of them, I burned it. So that sock became a towel. So you always got to kind of watch out for burning shoelaces and socks.
Okay. So any animals?
Saw a couple coyotes, lots
Okay.
of chipmunks, lots of hawks.
No bear.
No bears. Looking for them. There are
Thank
bears
goodness.
out there. Lots of notes on the signs. Watch out for bears, and certain bears in particular become kind of brave. And so you really want to band together and not let bears take your stuff. You let them take your stuff, they will be back. And you don't want the rangers taking action against a bear. So good bear safety and food management is paramount.
What bears are out there?
Black bears and brown bears, pretty much.
No grizzly?
No grizzlies.
Oh, okay.
Too far south.
Still have bears. Mount Whitney was near the end of your journey. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Mount Whitney is the highest mountain in the contiguous 48, not Hawaii, not Alaska. It's 14,450 feet, give or take 50 feet, depending on what map you're reading. And that is the very end of the John Muir Trail. We were only able to get up to the 13,600, about 900 feet under the summit. Late in the day, and we really had to get down the other side. So we had to forego that last 900 feet, which honestly, I don't think I could have done. It was brutal. This is tough team. 5 mules, a horse, and Jared. This is what makes it happen. See the background? Look at that view back there. Holy moly.
Oh, my buddies.
And this is Cash, the horse. Jared's favorite. He gets it done. It's a mix. The mules are 2 male, 3 female. This hike, toughest elevation, toughest set of conditions I have ever experienced in thousands of miles of trail,
Wow.
but it was glorious,
Wow.
beautiful. Some of the pictures don't do it. You got to kind of be there, but we'll give it a try.
So you were really roughing it. What were the top 3 things that you missed the most while you were gone?
Well, besides you, honey, which was horrible
I missed
not
him.
being with you. But there's no showers for 14 days, and you're doing what you can to clean up in creeks and watering holes, and something about 35 degrees keeps you away from that. So we were pretty dirty. Did what we could to get clean. So showering is always great, but it didn't really bother us. I was very tired at the end of the day, so it was really great to get into the sleeping bag in the tent with a good hot meal in your belly and get a good rest for that night and start over the next day.
Well, I'm sure you all smelled the same, so it didn't bother you or him or the other one.
It wasn't too bad. In the West, it's so dry. You can get away with a little bit. In the East, not so much.
So one more thing. I think I know something else that you really missed. You jumped in that bed to go to sleep. I think you slept for like 12, 14 hours.
I'm still kind of beat. The food is good. We went through quite a bit of effort. My hiking buddy put hundreds of hours into the planning, even to find low sodium mountain house backpacking food. But after a while, you're burning 3,000-4,000 calories a day. After a while, you just get sick and tired of that food. How many power bars can you really eat? So I did lose, 8-9 pounds or so, and I'm trying to put that back on right now. Not a bad thing, but I'm tired, and so still kind of recovering. But it was a class 1 trip.
Well, we're really glad to have you
Loved it.
back.
I'm glad to be back.
Just to say, there's a little bit going on in the city. Just a quick recap of some things. This was in the news. This was a big topic of discussion in the community about the BESS, which is a battery equipment storage that was going to be put on Church Street, the property that the city owns behind Prescott and Quarry. And our residents came forward and they really gave us a lot of information, the city and the staff, and the fire chief gave a great presentation, as well as the utility department, and it's going to be moved to Harrisonburg because it was a good idea, to have some alternative energy sources in our city in an area that needed a boost. But it's going to be moved to Harrisonburg, and we are just going to update the current facility that's there so that we can accommodate the energy that we need on that side of town. So the next thing, we have a city council meeting on Monday at 5:30, and there's going to be some big discussions and presentations about the property of the Old Town Inn in Old Town Manassas, there on the corner of Main and Center Street, as well as the property on Center Street next to City Hall that is currently called MIFCO. So please tune in so you can learn more. You can go on the website and look at the agenda packet and see the design. I think there's things on Facebook as well. There's been some press releases out of that particular proposal that we are voting to consider. That's important. We're voting to consider it. We will be open to other proposals coming in for, I think, 45 days after that. So please take notice, and I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, George.
Not a problem. Well, I seem to have got separated from the group, and I don't know which way to go, so I'm just kind of sitting here trying to stay warm. I wonder where they went. So, trying to heat water at elevation. Seems to be working. And you got to get the honey in there. Yeah, absolutely. Kitchen, sleeping bags, backpacks.
Hey, don't fall right as I'm standing. No falling.
You are looking at the secret to the success of this trip. Huge difference. Yeah.
Need water? No, I ain't plenty of water.
It's hard to sing at elevation. Then I bummed a cigarette and asked him for a light. our campsite for the night. It's going to be about 1.5 miles down that valley. Should take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. This is Evolution Valley and Evolution Creek. Just stunning. So lady, is this the toughest group you've been with? Easiest? Where do we fit? We'll talk later. So one of the things that you gotta love about the trail, and any trail, is the people who maintain the trail. And as I understand it, here on the John Muir Trail, you're not allowed to have a chainsaw. So that cut that you're looking at was done by saw. Here's Chester in very deep thought about today's walk. Oh, did I wake you? So we're surrounded by thunderstorms and getting off the mountain. So we're descending about 1,900 feet fairly rapidly. Get away from the lightning.
I can't sing